Hey good buddies, welcome back. Emily here, and this is No Expert. So today we're going to be making one of my absolute favorite things, and that is a vegan lemon asparagus risotto. Yes, this is something that we make in our house pretty much every other week. It goes great with a lot of different things, and it's actually pretty easy to do. I think a lot of people, when they think about risotto, they think about the many years of bungled risottos on Top Chef and think that it's very difficult, which in some ways it is, but the reality is that if you have the time to spend on it, you can actually make a really great risotto at home without it being a big... I mean, no one wants to disappoint Tom Colicchio. I know. So maybe you're thinking, hold on a tick. It's easy and it's vegan. Is there any way that it's any good? And the answer is, yeah, this is great. You'd be amazed. It's actually a very creamy, delicious, tasty thing, and you don't need dairy or animal products at all. All right, let's get this vegan risotto party started. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is we have 4 cups, a little over 4 cups here, of some veggie stock, and I'm going to bring that up to a simmer just by putting it on like a little above a medium. Oven is preheating to 400, and we'll get our risotto started. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil and a little less than a tablespoon of my vegan plant butter. And I'm just gonna let those melt. Now, as you can see, I have asparagus here that I have cleaned and trimmed and peeled because I'm committed to the craft. Hashtag chef life. All right, so what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just going to put some olive oil and salt and pepper on here. And done. I have my butter pretty much melted here, which means my pan is getting nice and toasty. So we are ready for the next step. Now I have onion and I have I actually have a sliced green hot pepper here. This is obviously not traditional to risotto, and you are under no obligation to add it, but it's something I like. So if you like spicy food, it adds a little extra freshness and a little kick, and it works. It works. So I'm putting my onion and my peppers in here, and my garlic I'm gonna hold off on for just a minute. I just want to cook these on a pretty, like a medium-low heat until the onions are kind of translucent. We don't really want them to brown. We just want them to soften up nicely. Onions are looking good, so next up, 3 cloves minced garlic. And just give that a minute. And I can see that my stock is starting to get nice and warm because it is moving around a little, steaming just a little, doing its stock thing. So next up, I have my arborio rice. I have just over a cup of arborio rice here. Arborio rice is very important for this. If you don't have arborio rice, you are not making a risotto. It also does a lot of the heavy lifting of making this creamy, even though it's vegan. So definitely arborio, and like little shout out to arborio rice. Thanks for being so great. So arborio rice into the pan, and we're gonna cook this for about 4 minutes. Toasting that rice, toasting that arborio rice. The other semi-tricky thing about risotto is that you do have to be like around to hang out with it for pretty much the whole time it's cooking. So there's not a lot of downtime here, but what were you really gonna do? Read a book? Maybe. Sorry about your book reading time. Once your arborio rice is nice and toasted, it's time to add your half a cup of white wine. Cheers. To no one. All right, so once you have your dry white wine in here, you're gonna stir it, and you're gonna keep going until the wine is pretty much all gone, either absorbed or evaporated. Wherever it goes, you wanna not see it anymore. Okay, my wine is pretty much evaporated, which means it's time to start ladling my stock in. So I'm just gonna take a ladle and spoon it right on in there. And that's pretty much what happens for the next 30 minutes. We just ladle and stir, and then when all the liquid is gone again, or pretty much gone, we add more stock. All right. it and we're just stirring. The rice has to co-mingle in order to create the creamy starchiness, so just make sure that you don't spread it out too thin because you want it bumping up against each other. If you start feeling like you might be running out of liquid, do not be afraid to add a little bit more. Sometimes the rice just needs more stock because, like, the moon is in Mercury or something. My risotto is coming along nicely and my oven is preheated, so it's time for me to put the asparagus in. And I'm just gonna let that asparagus roast for like 15 to 20 minutes. I can't remember what else I was gonna say about that. That's it. All right, so when you're about halfway through the process of making risotto, which is where I am right now, that's when you wanna add salt and pepper. So I am adding salt, but do keep in mind that stocks and sometimes the vegan like butters or butter replacements do have sodium in them, so you just want to keep an eye on your salt. Otherwise, you might get one salty risotto. I have added the end of my stock. My risotto is looking delish. I have turned it down to low, and I'm actually going to just turn it all the way off. And then this is the little trick for if you're making vegan risotto. I'm going to take another knob of vegan or non-dairy butter, and I'm just going to pop it in here, and that'll help it get that extra creaminess that we want. Okay, and the next thing that goes into my risotto, I have a teaspoon of lemon zest, boop, and squeeze of lemon juice. Heavy squeeze. I would say a hefty squeeze of lemon juice. We're gonna mix that up. And I've got my asparagus out of the oven. I'm just going to chop that up in a second, mix it in, bing, bang, boom, we're on our way. Also squeezing a little lemon juice on my asparagus. Creamy. All right, so I have my asparagus cut up and mixed in, and the last thing to do is to plate. And I have a mix of different herbs that we had in the house. So I have some parsley, cilantro, and scallions here, but whatever you've got could work. So I'm gonna sprinkle that on top. I have a few pieces of asparagus that I have saved to garnish. And last thing, extra crack of black pepper. And there she is, I would say, looking very nice. Hello, yes, hello. All right, let's get a little bit of everything. That's so good. It's honestly, it's so delicious. I'm totally vegan, which is really cool. If you wanted to add a protein, it goes great with like some spiced sauteed chickpeas. You can do it with edamame. Also great with salmon or other seafood if you're not vegan. It's a delicious meal. What can I say? And it's really incredible how much like creaminess and that sort of nuttiness you get just from the arborio rice and what it does, and then a little bit of like vegan magic, you know? If you wanted to, you could also totally toss some nutritional yeast in here for an extra cheesiness, or again, if you're not vegan, just toss some cheese in there at the end, baby. Lemon asparagus vegan risotto. It is springy and fresh. It's creamy, it's vegan, non-dairy. What more could you want, really? And super delicious. And that's a risotto, not so scary, right? I mean, listen, would Tom Colicchio dig it? I don't know. But he's not stopping by here anytime soon. I would be delighted if he did, though. Tom Colicchio, please feel free to call me. And that's it. Give it a shot. Have some courage. Try a vegan risotto. I believe in you. And if you do try it out, let me know what you think. Down in the comments, by Instagram, whatever you want. I'm around. All right, Emily signing off. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.